Hi friends, आज हम पहुंचे हैं that part of planet where creativity takes birth. In 2001, when Gujarat was shaking, something else was getting carved, which was more designful, which was more creative, and which has grown into an exciting part of this city called Ahmedabad, which has nurtured so many and influenced so many people across the world. Yes, I'm talking about one of the best schools, the quality output giving school of Ahmedabad, known globally as Riverside. The Riverside School ki owner, founder and the creative head behind the whole story, Miss Kiran Bir Sethi. आइए मिलते हैं and we know the whole story how the Riverside School came up, what is her thought process, how she chooses teachers, what are the qualities she inculcates in the staff and students, and has been creating history since 22 years. Let us understand and know Miss Kiran Bir Sethi. Kiran ma'am, we are really so glad to have you on the show. But before we start asking you on the formal basis, the audience want to understand who Kiran was as a student, as a kid, what were her aspirations. I'm sure it was not to create a school.
Oh, never. I'm actually born and brought up in Bangalore.
Okay.
I had the best childhood. I am the youngest of three, and I remember this distinctly that my papa would take us to a restaurant, okay? Koshi's restaurant, and there was a jukebox there. So all of 2.5, I would tell my papa, you put that song, and then with my chunni, I will dance all in the restaurant. My sister and brother saying, Papa, tell her to sit down. What is this going on? And my father said, no, let her be. And I think that letting her be, wala jo learning I had, I think shaped a lot of who I became. So I have no idea what embarrassment is.
Okay.
I am completely shameless. I will do what I want. And I think that has served me beautifully because even to start a school, I don't come from education. Can you imagine? Somebody would say, no, I'm not from education. I can't start. So I think for me to have that freedom of thought, to say that if something bothers you, can you do something about it rather than complain and blame, became my whole story.
Okay. And Riverside as a name when you started with, was it because it is next to river?
No, not at all.
How did Riverside as a school?
In fact, if you look at my first 5 bachchas, in fact these lot,
Uh-huh.
right? So this lot of people were my very first students.
Okay.
And I remember thinking that I'll start a school and it'll be a fantastic name, Takshashila.
Awesome.
Okay, bhari naam. And I remember calling my children and say, okay, tell I am going to Takshashila school. So they said, we are going to Takshapila school. Oh yaar, ye kya ho gaya? So then we had other options, Riverside. So I said, what about Riverside? They said, I'm going to Riverside School. Bas?
Makes sense.
So everything from the color of their t-shirts to the name of the school was something that we did together. It was not me designing for children or our team designing. They were our experts. And till date, whenever we're in doubt or we're confused about what to do, just go to the children. Everything will be sorted.
Okay, and they are the solution giver to all your problems majority of the times?
Well, I think that's the whole point, Ro. We keep thinking of children as problems to solve. We don't think of them as problem solvers, right? So that's really where these people became my experts, my challengers, my conscience.
Oh.
It was just the best story.
So ma'am, we've heard about Riverside so many times with so many scholars, with so many good people talking about when it comes to education. Yeah, of course, Riverside is the name that cannot be missed. What is that something different that you created or your kids created which differs from anyone and everyone across India? Because you are no more Ahmedabad school. You are actually an India or a global school.
I think you're asking a very interesting question. The word you're saying, what is different? I think that word is a problem. We are not different. Our children make a difference.
Okay.
That is the heart of Riverside. ये नहीं कि मेरे पास swimming pool है या एक IT room है. That's the whole point of a school, right? I think the focus of Riverside has been till date 2 days ago, we celebrated, by the way, 22 years.
Oh.
So we've just had our birthday. The idea that every child believes when they come to Riverside, we're not just sitting for an exam, but we're here to make a difference in the world. That is non-negotiable. You might get your A stars in economics and math and psychology, but you will believe that you will make the world a better place.
Awesome.
That is at the heart of who we are.
So you're creating good citizens for the world, rather.
I think I'm making, we're hoping, I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous to say we are, but I think our daily attempt is to help a child to say, I will choose, and I will choose to be kind. I will choose to make a difference. I will choose to be more humane. These choices are finally at the heart of education, right? So I think that's really what our promise is. And every day we come as a team to make sure that we do this promise every day.
Great. There's a word along with you many times we see, I can. Can you throw some light on the word I can? Why I can and what is I can?
Well, I can started because I saw my son say I can't.
Oh my God.
That's the whole point, right? I would not have known the power of I can till I saw my son, who was all of 6 years, going to this very reputed school, learn literally in the first 3 months, Mama, I can't. And for me, I said, my God, that just can't be the whole story.
Yeah.
So I think children learn very early how they should stay out of trouble.
Right.
That's the whole point. So they will see how this teacher likes somebody, doesn't like somebody, punishes somebody, doesn't punish somebody. And they're so young. And all they're asking is, will I be noticed? Will this teacher know my name? And we don't care about that. So I think for me, seeing my son have this sense that Mama, I can't, it bothered the hell out of me. So I think for me, as a mother, I said, yaar, ye nahi chalega.
Ye nahi chalega.
But I think my education is design, coming from NID, gave me the opportunity to say, yaar, kuch to ho sakta hai.
Right.
And he said, chalo.
Chalo, karte.
I can. So Riverside was really my I can story.
Oh, that's nice. Ma'am, we have always seen many a times, like be it my education, or I'm sure you would have undergone the same education, wherein you have a lot of comparison in a classroom, where you feel, rather than feeling more motivated towards doing something different for the world, you feel like I can't do it. Similar story what I can is happening. How is the scenario of your classrooms? How is the scenario at Riverside?
You know, I don't think everybody can do everything, and that's a very silly expectation that we have.
Yeah.
So I think the idea is, if we are able to notice a child, right? I think the first starts with just noticing. Oh, Shaishav is here, and I look you in the eye, and I smile at you, and I see your story. That is the first building of trust that happens between two people.
Absolutely.
And that is magic. The idea of trust to say that I've seen you, I've noticed you. That means I know your story. Right. Oh, Shaishav loves football, or Shaishav loves reading stories. That ability to look you in the eye and have your story builds the rest of it. And I think we don't then see a class of grade 3, we see every individual story, right? So I think one thing I've learned, and somebody taught me this, he said, you don't go to a class to teach subjects, you go to reach students.
Oh.
And if we can just do that, they are so capable, you just have to step back and say, chalo, let's walk on this story together. That's 22 years, they've taught me all this magic.
You started this school in 2001. Soon after, I'm sure you started your school, the whole state was shaking, and there was big depression across. People were crying. What was your step in those days? Did you feel I did a wrong? I took a wrong step, wrong time? What? Because initial days when you start, you have a lot of things to think about as a school.
Hello, 26th of Jain, 2001 was the day I was bringing the first lot of parents to say, come, I have a building. I am not telling you anything, that 8:45 in the morning, I'm getting ready to come here to tell my parents, I have a building, you please come and join my school. And the earthquake happened. And I'm telling you, for 2 months, everything collapsed. The teacher was going to start the school with me, left. Not only left the school, but left India. I don't know why I continued. I don't know. If you ask me the question, I know my brother called me up and said, oh my God, Ahmedabad now is a zone 5. You don't even have started a school, you don't have anything to lose. Come and be safe. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that if we can survive an 8-point earthquake, you can survive anything. Then a parent saying, यार इतना homework नहीं करते, nursery rhymes नहीं करते, यार 8.5 याद ये सब क्या है?
That's great. That's great. That's so
I think we
nice.
were meant to shake the earth. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, great. Ma'am, again, you have a school. You started a school, I know, from a very small setup.
In my home.
Yeah. Had somebody else been at your place, would have scaled it up by the name, brand or something, whatever you have, would have scaled it up to 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 kids. Why still, after 22 years, we are still at 400 and something?
You do the math, Riverside is reaching 2.5 million children.
Okay.
So whatever started here with my son saying I can't, today through Riverside, today we would have been 600 strong in terms of the graduating batches. Approach, which has reached over 300,000 children. Design for Change, which has reached 2.5 million children. I mean, that's, so I keep thinking, scale is not necessarily numbers,
Right.
Scale is impact.
Absolutely.
Right? So if I were to just look at what this tiny little school has done,
Yeah.
sitting in the corner of Ahmedabad, in the land of Mahatma Gandhi,
Gandhi.
2.5 million children. It's the only idea of education in the world that has gone from India out.
Hi, I'm Shania from grade 6, the Riverside School. I will be sharing about my experience in Riverside. I've newly joined the school last year in grade 5. When I first came in Riverside, I was a very shy kid. I was an introvert. But my peers and my teachers really helped me, and after support I got, I could really go and freely talk to them instead of getting shy, and I was confident when I would talk to them instead of like getting scared. I think Riverside really treats you as a family and not only a student-teacher relationship. And if I sum it up in a one sentence, whoever I am, I'm because of Riverside.
So, artist in residence is when you call some expert from outside who's like experienced in the field of acting and script writing and dancing, and then they kind of guide you, and they are the people who you have to pay to so that they help you get a good show. This year there were 2 experts, one for 3 and 4 and one for 5, 6 and 7. So the first expert for 3 and 4 was Parth sir, and the 5, 6, 7 expert was Rishikesh sir.
I've been here since pre-K, and the one thing that I really appreciate about the school is that I feel like every part of it is meant so that the children have a comfortable space to learn. For example, our classrooms are set in a way where students get to interact with each other so that they can build conversation and know about each other's perspectives in every subject. And even the teaching style is that way, where we're taught how whatever we're learning is applied in real life. It's not just about textbook and memorization, but it's about how can we can use our own thinking to become curious about the topics that we're learning. It also helps us cultivate relationships between each other and the younger buddies. In other schools, I've seen that it's more focused towards your own classroom and yourself, but here we learn how to build relationships with the teachers, with the students, with our peers.
So I think our desire as a team has never been to be the best school in the world. It has been to be the best school for the world. So everything we've done has never been for 400 children. That's too small a vision, right?
Absolutely.
The moment we started having the capacity to do more, we did Approach. We made our cities child-friendly. Completely free, open source. Then we did Design for Change. Completely free, open source. So the idea that this organizing principle or the secret sauce of I can started with I can't, and today 2.5 million children across the world are saying I can. Now you tell me.
A big difference. I had a smaller vision to what you did. So ma'am, looking to the whole thing, if I see, because you yourself are Takshashila when I say in the Riverside, do you wish to have more of your images across, because the world needs more of such thought processes? The teachers you have trained, I see a lot of them in multiple schools who have reached and who are doing amazing. Their schools are actually doing great, because of the roots that you have nurtured, do you wish that you would have maybe franchisee setup or setting up your thoughts or vision across with others?
I tell you, when we started the school in 2001, who would have thought today I'm having this video with you, right? Something has happened over these 22 years that has built such a beautiful story, right, of ICANN. One thing I've learned in education, you have to be very responsible towards education, right? You have to understand that if something somewhere can make a child's life empowered, it cannot stay only in that space.
Right.
So over the years, like we've done Approach, like we did Design for Change, we've most recently started the Riverside Learning Center, where we have processized and codified everything we've done, like a recipe book.
Absolutely.
And saying anybody in the world can use this recipe book to make an ICANN school. So,
oh, wonderful.
You come back again after 1 year, we'll have the story.
Oh, great. So it has just started and we are creating stories
so now
on that.
We're already with the ICANN school idea, we're in 9 countries. We've reached around 40 schools. This is the building ICANN schools, and we are starting an ICANN franchisee for preschools. So I think that it all has a time, and you have to be ready for it. You can't do it earlier or later. I have totally believed in that idea of the universe telling you when you're right, and when it happens.
Yeah.
And you just listen with your heart and say, "Chalo, karte." It's been beautiful, yeah.
You are 100% involved in running this process.
No longer. I have the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best team. So I think they have given me the wonderful freedom to be mad again and to explore other ideas. So I have the best team. So I think, if I had not done my job correctly, I would have been still involved. I think by building leadership of the caliber we have, it's just, that's how the story has to be, not person driven.
Hello, I'm Judith and I'm from Barcelona, Spain. And I came to Riverside School 8 years ago. I was teaching grade 4 students, and the reason I decided to come here, it was because I fell in love with Riverside's mission, values, and the way they empower students. They make sure that they are able to face and to deal and to lead current challenges. And I wanted to be part of this. And also something that truly inspired me was seeing all the students having fun. They loved coming to school. They were smiling the whole day, even when they had maybe to spend here from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. in the afternoon and dealing with different projects and activities and sessions and courses. By Riverside's team, the school has an amazing team of teachers and professors. And of course, for me, Kiran Ma'am was a huge inspiration, and I wanted to be part of this adventure of the school, of the team, and be able to follow the feel, imagine, do, share methodology with my students.
Process driven. Yeah.
What advice do you give? Because there's a huge hue and cry. There are no good teachers. The kids, the quality is down. What is your advice to choose good teachers? What is a good teacher?
You choose the teachers as they are, and then you build their capacity. That is your responsibility.
Right.
It's as simple as that. You get them how they are, and then you just invest your heart and your mind to make sure that they grow. That's what we have done. People ask me, how do you do the training? I said 365 days. It starts with a jappi, and then everything starts. But it'll be foolish, and it's a very selfish idea to make your teachers great. Because finally, they're the ones who are going to be in the class with my kids. It'll be very irresponsible of me not to invest in my team. So I think the team is at the heart of good practice. So for us, we have the best team.
Because you are the owner, you own the thing, you do it from your heart. Is it the same at every level? Because what we see in majority of the schools is, I being an owner, I invest my heart and soul into training teachers. Many schools, teachers quit for a small increase in the salary, and then the entire process falls down. How does it work with you?
Like I said, all of these are real issues. And I think so many leaders I have seen who are fearful. Yaar, agar invest karenge, to they will go and join another school. Teachers who are not competent is a greater damage you do, right? So that's a fairly common sense idea. I think intuitively when we started the school, coming from a design background, so much of it was on documentation, codification, so it doesn't become person-centric.
Yeah.
I think the greatest decision we made at Riverside was to take the time and energy to codify. So in the codification of the processes today, a teacher can come, my intention will be they should stay, but for whatever reason there would be other factors and they might go for other reasons. But I should never be scared. And I think the idea of leading with courage and leading without fear is because of the work we've done in the codification. So today any teacher can come anytime. All we have to do is open up the codification, get them threshold.
But somewhere it pains. Itni mehnat ki maine, you're going. So, and that pulls the demotivation. At times you feel sad, you feel down, that you know, I invested a lot behind, like you know, ek saath do teen resignation aa gaye, and you feel like, what? Now how do I start? Of course it kicks you back that let's start it again. But does it happen with you also?
Remember 8.1 earthquake? I mean, come on, this is life. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but it's so worth it. You know, so when today, if I'm just looking at the so much gratitude I have my team, 50% of my team has been with me more than 10 years. I mean,
50% of the school's life, yeah?
In awe, I'm just saying thank you, right? My responsibility is to make Riverside the best place for them to work. It's not their responsibility, it's mine, right? And if I invest in your heart and know your story just like every child, then I feel they would have one more reason to stay,
Right.
not one more reason to leave, right? So it's a continuous story.
Teachers is a story which is very common for everyone. Student is again another fold of the whole school when we say. You select your students?
We select our students, meaning we have entry in pre-kindergarten.
Okay.
So we're very conscious. Initially when it started, it used to be a draw system. I used to just take 12 girls, 12 boys.
Okay.
Right? And over the years, I started realizing there's a certain, because Riverside seems as a perception, what they call alternative, which is actually not true. Then we started realizing we wanted to serve a mini India. So I'm very conscious of diversity. Every
Wonderful.
faith, every gender, demographics. We have 25% of the children who come to us totally free. We have special needs, we have every kind. For me, that diversity then meant I had to be slightly clear about the kind of people who will walk into every batch, right? So for me to have that wonderful perspectives and the diversity of thought has just changed the game. So I think at the beginning, there was value in doing the draw. I said, anybody comes in, it'll work. And it does, right? But I have to still be conscious of the fact that I want every community to be represented. And that's getting less and less in most places, right? So I want to make sure that my Muzammil comes in, and my Joshua, everybody feels safe.
Okay.
And everybody believes that this is a place we can grow. For me, that's the heart of what Riverside is.
At times, a lot of schools or a lot of education institutes, they take the cream of the crowd, cream of the town, and then they nurture them and you know they create the good history. So is something this formula also working for you?
No, simply because of the fact that I don't want to comment on what other schools do. I think every school is doing a great job, and I think it's important to understand that. I think it's a concept, the value proposition. The fact that I want diversity means that I want to know what different kinds of children will bring to the table.
Yes.
It's not always an academic story, right? My God, the whole idea of education is not just your grades, right? It's the plurality of the identity you bring, who I am as a person. So, well, I think each to his own, but I think for me, I love the fact that I see one of my children who academically would never get the A star, but my God is today running the best film department in the world. So it's those stories for me that are far more important, right? It's the measurement of, I wouldn't even say success, but the measurement of impact is in the stories they will tell you afterwards. Like you said, will an alumni tell you the story that they are from Riverside? So just this morning, we had like 15 alumni. Yesterday, we had 15 alumni. We're constantly having them come back. And to serve that story, I think for me is why it happens. When a girl will come and say, you know, it was easy to say no. When my boys come and say, you know, I could say thank you to the canteen boy. Now everybody says thank you. So those stories that make the biggest difference. Academically, they're doing well, they're startups, they're PhDs, they're doing entrepreneurship, they're dancers, they're pilots, they are lawyers, they are architects. I mean, that's the easy part. But the fact that my boys would be fantastic fathers of daughters, now that's an outstanding story.
That's touching.
Right? For me, those are for me the reason this place does what it does.
Parents, many times, majority of the times I would say, parents focus on math, science, English, Sanskrit.
Oh, Sanskrit also, okay.
Economics. ये strong होना चाहिए. Majority math, science, IIT, JEE, NEET, like this is the story across. What is the parent expectation from you, or from the school rather, I would say?
What does the parent expect of Riverside, or what do we expect from the parents?
Both the ways.
It is very lovely. In pre-K, when they all come down, before I take them in, I say, listen, last chance. You can all leave.
Oh.
Okay? This is a difficult place to be a parent of. Yes. Because we will ask you to be challenged, and we'll ask you to think, and we'll ask you to participate. So, lots of other schools, you decide. Nahi, we want to come here only. So,
Commitment le liya.
no, in 8th grade, suddenly there will be this little bit pull a die. I said, listen, I should have taken your video in pre-K. No, but I have to say, I have the best parent body. And I'll tell you why I say this. I remember during COVID, there was such a pushback on, oh, fees nahi denge, ye thing. I just reached out to my parent body. I said, listen, my whole team will stay here. And I know you want to believe in this. And what do you say? Not one said, I will not pay or whatever. It was fantastic. That belief, that trust, that faith that they gave back, I think was a representation of those 20 years that we had built this relationship. They were brilliant. And I think for me, they might not understand what we do, but they believe why we do it. And that's a much greater reason to have a parent body. So for me, we've had incredible times. What do we expect from parents? Just to believe in their child. They don't even have to believe in me. They just have to believe in their child.
I see majority of the parents these days want their kids to be engineer, doctor. What do your parents do?
Not necessarily. I think the world we're living in has such wonderful opportunities. I think the expansion of the idea of what children can do has now come into this young parent body. So I find that they are braver parents, the parents who believe that their children can be worthy of a passion and take that and make that a profession. I think that has changed. 20 years ago, it would have been a different thing. But today I see a kind of parents who are saying, yeah, go bacha, ji le apni zindagi.
So there are more of DDLJs these days?
DDLJs, yeah. No, but we still have the parent who wants the thing. And why not? I mean, the child should live out whoever they want to be. So, yeah.
If not an educator, what would you have been?
Actor.
Wow, baby.
I am telling you, you don't know my dukh bhari kahani. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I've done everything, and we keep joking about the possibility of what I would have done. But I don't know, whatever I would have done, I would have done with dil and jaan.
Still, second L2 pe kya hai?
I wanted to be a doctor, a cardiac surgeon, mind it. So I was...
playing with so many little hearts.
Yeah, I don't know. Design was such a fantastic introduction into my life. I remember walking into NID and saying, oh, this is what it is, this is how it should be, this is what learning should look like. And unbeknownst to me, I think that created the blueprint for Riverside. The idea of learning with each other, learning with the heart, learning with intention. I learned at NID. And a lot of it I probably, just doing here. So NID was such a game changer for me,
Did you or your family any day had a debate like, बच्चों को ये बनाना चाहिए, or you had since their childhood you were like open?
My bachas?
Yes.
No.
They were to choose their own career.
I think I'm the best mother on the planet. Okay, I believe that. But I think I'm just watching this story open up. I cannot help in music. My son is in music. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic. Obviously, I don't understand those stories, but what she has done with her story, what Rag has done with his, have been totally independent stories. But at the heart of it somewhere, I think they both are teachers. They come and do a lot of work at Riverside whenever I need them. But I think they have that idea of storytelling, and I think teachers are storytellers. and they both are storytellers in the heart, and somewhere they're living out their own stories. So for me, I'm just busy reading their stories and saying, wow, I don't know the end, and it's fantastic. It's a great story, yeah.
Ma'am, lastly, we would like to have one suggestion, one idea from you to the new educators, anyone who wishes to, maybe inspiring to start a school, maybe someone who is running already a show but not succeeding. What are those techniques or those important ingredients, I would say, ये नमक है इसको भूलना मत, ये थोड़ा सा spicy है इसको भूलना मत. Those things, what do you suggest? These are certain top 5 musts for a school.
Smile. I mean, I just feel, there is no formula beyond the fact that first build relationships, right? I keep saying this is the 4 R's, the R's, like one is relationships. Everything starts with the heart. Notice the story, know the names of your children, call that out loudly, consistently. The second R, the tadka, is relevance. Why am I learning? Not what am I learning, and not how will I learn it, but why. We forget that. We walk into a class and say, chapter 3 kholo.
Yes.
Okay, so the why, I'll say relevance. Then I would say rigor is not write house 50 times. Meaningful, mastery and quality. I don't think we focus at all on quality. The fourth is reflection. Everything stays in activity if there's no reflection. At the end of, supposing you met me and I came, or you made a model kar diya, lovely, kya sikha? Fun tha. But the idea of reflection, ask what did I learn from it, that we don't do enough. And the fifth R is repetition. इस 4 चीज़ों को हर दिन करो, बस magic. और उसके ऊपर smile करो.
Makes sense. Since childhood, since I was a kid.
I thought you said last question.
Yeah, no, now I'm telling you my thought. This was the last question, but the thought is, for me the school has always been SCHOOL, 6 cruel hours of my life.
Oh my God. So I've never heard that acronym. Okay. In 6 cruel hours of our life. Oh, okay.
SCHOOL.
All right.
So this was the definition that stayed
Really?
in the entire school.
I've never heard this.
Because मैं वही था ना, open your book, chapter number 3, start.
How interesting.
This has been
Okay.
the schooling for 99% of the kids these days. So yes, of course, to bring out those 6 cruel hours of our life, I guess you have a good mentor, you have a good teacher, you have a good educator, and who is changing the definition for India, for the world. And it was great interacting with her, ma'am. It was lovely talking to you. And something what we discovered today was, there's no more 6 cruel hours of our life.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Oh, what a show! What an individual! Inspiring, motivating, energetic. ऐसा होता है स्कूल ओनर. अगर स्कूल ओनर में इतना दम है, तो स्कूल में कितना दम होगा? Always, 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 always wanting to be a part of such amazing setups, such amazing schools. आज हमने बात की मिस किरण बीर सेठी के साथ रिवरसाइड स्कूल के बारे में. जाना हमने कैसे उन्होंने शुरुआत की थी एक छोटे से बंगलों से और आज ये इतना बड़ा संसार सेटअप किया. अमेजिंग स्टोरी. कीप लाइकिंग अस, फॉलो अस एंड सब्सक्राइब अस. डू कमेंट, आप कौन सी स्कूल के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं और किस स्कूल ने कुछ अलग किया है. आपने जाना इतनी सारी स्कूल के बारे में. आइए हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए. मिलेंगे अगले पड़ाव में किसी और स्कूल के साथ कोई और कहानी लिखते हुए.